So what's going on, JA Navy? I just got back from securing a huge bulk deal. Now, I just met up with my little homie over at the train station, which for some reason, he told me to rock this mask, which I'm still kind of puzzled on. I can't really figure out why, but as far as securing this early deal, Navy, I told y'all we're about to start going crazy with these early looks. So in today's video, we're gonna be discussing early sneakers. If you've ever been wondering like how all these early pairs hit the streets early, well, you're about to find out why. The only question is, can you handle the truth?
Chopper 7 was over the scene near the corner of Lake and Lockwood. People were scrambling into open freight cars, climbing over each other to get to boxes of different items. They were then tossing them out onto the ground. Many of the cases were put into waiting vehicles, which then drove off.
Now, if you follow the sneaker space, you probably heard of a lot of these stories where thieves, they break into these cargo freight trains, stealing unreleased early sneakers. But as far as one of the more high profile cases that actually took place earlier this year, which according to this report, in a January 13th robbery, suspects cut an air brake hose on a BNSF freight train traveling through a remote section of Arizona and made off with more than 1,900 pairs of unreleased Nikes worth more than $440,000. Now, according to this report, a majority of these sneakers actually happen to be the unreleased Nigel Sylvester 4s, which at the time were currently unreleased. So as far as these thieves, I'm guessing they must have watched a lot of sneaker YouTube, because apparently they knew ahead of time that these joints were gonna skyrocket to the moon. So I think the Nigels are going for what, like 500 plus a piece. So they definitely chose a great pair to go ahead and secure early. Now, it also reads it was one of at least 10 heists targeting BNSF trains in remote areas of the Mojave Desert since last March that authorities are investigating. The Los Angeles Times reported all but one resulted in the theft of Nike sneakers. So as far as these chains being hit up, you guys might think that they may be just going for like just random cargo, but apparently based off the number that is actually targeting Nike unreleased sneakers, these dudes know exactly what they're going for. So on top of that one, just a few months prior to that one, you had these thieves stealing the big annual holiday Christmas release in the Jordan 11 Legend Blue. So it reads, it's alleged that thieves broke into a train container stealing almost 900 pairs of sneakers, which included the ultra hype Jordan 11 Legend Blue. Now, as far as these dudes right here pictured, you know, they are innocent until proven guilty, but I gotta say, man, they gotta touch up on their sneaker YouTube, because these dudes actually chose to steal a pair of Legend Blues, which actually turned out to be bricks. So I don't know if the crime was really worth it or not, but you guys know I'm just playing right here. Now, on top of all of this happening, you know, we've heard several reports of trains being targeted, but this one was the most interesting because it's more sophisticated, right? A more organized crime rig, which they pretty much was wilding right here. So it reads, under the scheme, detectives say the suspects exploited loopholes in Nike's distribution system, starting at the source, a main hub in Southeast Memphis. So good old Memphis, the location, you know, of Nike's shipping hub. So it says the thieves printed fake shipping labels and paid off employees at UPS and Nike to deliberately misdirect or redirect cartons of shoes to locations across LA. So it says on January 10th, Nike employees in Memphis discovered 10 cartons of shoes in the back of a US Postal Service truck, each with an original shipping label that had been covered by a pre-addressed mailing label for the private carrier UPS. The next day, Nike intercepted another 8 of these over-labeled cartons, which contained shoes, bruh. So that's wild, yo. These dudes were literally printing new shipping labels, putting them on top of where the packages were supposed to be directed to, and were actually intercepting the packages. Now, the crazy thing about this one, the dude that got caught up in this scheme actually was arrested at Project Blitz, which then led to this big, huge headline where one of sneakers' biggest high-profile resellers, Project Blitz, raided by the LAPD for over $500,000 worth of stolen Nike sneakers, clothes, accessories, and more. So the fact is, a lot of these early pairs, which are hitting the streets ahead of the scheduled release date, do happen to be stolen. And on top of the stolen pairs, my guess, nowadays, the way fakes be looking, you probably got a few fakes sprinkled in there here and there. And while I don't know too much about the whole fake sneaker industry, you guys know bootlegging, fakes is $1 billion, probably $1 trillion industry. So on top of the stolen pairs, I'm guessing they're probably throwing some fakes in there here and there as well. I mean, even your favorite sneaker blogs be posting these early looks, which happen to be fake sneakers. So fakes be looking better than ever. But as far as like one of the biggest reasons, which in my opinion, we're seeing these early sneakers hitting the streets ahead of the scheduled release date, would be Backdoor. So that's when one of these boutiques or sneaker retailers, they get their shipments in ahead. They're going ahead and just flipping them over to resellers who are purchasing the shoes in bulk. Now remember, when a retailer gets their shipments, they're paying 50% off the MSRP, right? So they're paying half the retail price. They're then going and looking at the value of the shoe on the secondary market and then selling them to resellers who are buying them in bulk, you know, just a little bit under that whole like kind of market value. That way the resellers can make their small little profits. The store can go ahead and sell out, keeping the lights on, because if we're being real, like a lot of these boutiques, these smaller sneaker stores are struggling. People ain't out here purchasing shoes like they once were years ago. So they're kind of resulting to these resale tactics, this backdooring process in order just to kind of keep the lights on. And as far as one of the most infamous sneaker backdooring scandals, that would definitely have to be the whole trophy room Marcus Jordan situation, which we're gonna go ahead and take a look at a clip right here. This is alleged actually how the whole deal went down. This comes courtesy of the Sneaker Invest channel.
Michael Jordan's son, Marcus Jordan.
Yeah, so a little backstory on that. Shek and I, we did a deal with Marcus on the trophy rooms.
Trophy room ones.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the deal, I don't know if I can I say, should I say the numbers or no?
It's already done.
Yeah, I mean, it is done. So the whole world pretty much knows what happened. Like, he backdoored a shit ton of pairs from his store, Trophy Room. And I remember Shek hit me. He was like, yo, like, there's this big deal, but we need to get a bunch of cash. They were only taking cash. Him and I pulled together like a couple $100K. And then there was a guy that came, pick up the cash, flew to Miami, give the cash to him, and we're getting boxes of Trophy Rooms, like the Nike boxes.
In
like,
Miami or in Seattle?
They're getting shipped back to us, like overnight.
Okay.
So you've seen those Nike boxes that get shipped to like Foot Locker, stuff like that with the label.
Yeah.
We were getting those, so it wasn't like even repackaged.
So pretty crazy, right? It's wild, and it's happening right in front of our faces. And to make matters even worse, you even got sneaker resellers infiltrating this very platform here on YouTube, which you got these dudes like out here teaching people how to resell, telling y'all to buy in bulk, all of that good stuff, which I guess I can't be too mad at. You know, the game is the game, and at least they're being like upfront about it. But the worst part about it are you got these snakes pretending to be sneakerheads, which in return they're actually resellers. Well, maybe they actually they started off as sneakerheads, and then kind of like the greed and everything got to them, and then they became resellers. Because one of the biggest new things right now, you got these high profile resellers. What they're doing is they're gifting big sneaker YouTubers early pairs, or they're selling them to them at retail in order for them to promote their resale business, which I guess at the end of the day, they do offer a service in providing early sneakers and everything, but I just really can't support it. And if you look at it from the other side of things, these dudes are strategically like hoarding up all the pairs, right? So just for example, say like a pair of Jordan 5s, the black metallics, which dropped in a limited capacity. Let's just throw out, let's say there's like what, like 50,000 pairs of those out in the wild. Probably like 20,000 of them, 30,000 of them joints already got worn. And then as far as like the big resellers, they're just hoarding up all the pairs, just waiting for the price to go up. Because let's just think about it, like if just regular people were to have all of these pairs in hand and the resellers weren't hoarding up all the pairs, these people would just be going ahead and just like selling them on StockX, undercutting each other, selling them for the low. But as far as these resellers that are hoarding up all the pairs, they're just sitting back, letting these people undercut. They're letting all the low prices go, and then when there's not too many pairs left, they're just waiting as the price skyrockets. So you got to look at things from both sides of views. Plus with Nike, with them seeing like how much resellers are eating up the profits of a lot of their shoes, they're seeing all that money being left on the table, and what Nike wants a little piece of that pie, they're simply just upping the retail prices on a lot of these shoes. So when it comes to the whole sneaker resale game, when it comes to early sneakers, this is just my interpretation of everything, you know, with my experience and through my lens. So let me know what y'all think, man. If you guys enjoyed today's video, go ahead and smash the like button. And if you guys made it all the way through the end, go ahead and drop a salute down below. JA, I will catch you guys next time. In the meantime, stay safe, stay blessed, and I'm out, y'all. Love.